guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be working on this scarf, and this scarf is one of my projects that I'm working on. What I'm going to do is make a sample. Obviously I'm still working with the same eco-friendly yarns, and I'll be making a sample so that you can see how I get this started. And if you can grab your yarn and come back and meet me here so we can start this project. And this would be like a nice activity just to help you to relax for the day. Right now I'm sitting in my sofa right by my window relaxing, which is real comforting. Alright, so if you grab your yarn and you come back, I'll show you how I get this started and we can get this activity rolling. Alright, so first I'm gonna be making my slip knot. And you know how to make the slip knot already by now, I'm sure. So now I'll be making 21 chains. So you can go ahead and you do that and you meet me right back here. Alright, so now I have my 21 chains. The next step is to skip this first chain, and we are going to be working in your second chain. And what we're going to do is to make single crochet stitch from your second chain straight to the end. So to make your single crochet stitch, you go into your second chain, and that's your first single crochet. You go into the next chain, your second single crochet, and the next one, and you keep going until you meet the end, and I'll meet you right back here. Alright, I'm at the end of my single crochet stitch along my chains. You chain one, then you turn your work over, and in this very first chain you're going to make a single crochet stitch. Then you're going to skip 2 chains. You're going to skip this one, that one, and in the third chain is when we're going to work our shell stitch. So to make your shell stitch, we're going to make 5 double crochet in this third chain stitch right here. And to make your double crochet, you go under, you go into your third chain, that's your first double crochet. You go back into the same chain, alright, these are your 5 double crochet in your third chain. Next you're going to skip 2 chains. You're going to skip 1, 2, and in your third chain you're going to make a single crochet stitch. And to make the single crochet, you go into your third chain like that, and that's your first shell. You're going to skip 2, you're going to work into the third chain and make 5 double crochet stitch again. So you go into your third chain, you go into the same chain, and try and relax your arms and your fingers so your stitches can flow easily. Alright, and this is your second shell. You're going to skip 2 chains again, and in the third chain make your single crochet stitch, and that's your second chain. Alright, so now we're going to skip 2 chains and work your shell stitch in your third chain. Alright, that's your shell stitch. You're going to skip 2 chains and make your single crochet in this final chain at the end. Alright, and these are your 3 shell stitches. Alright, so you're at the end of your chains, your shell stitch, and you're going to chain 1 and you turn your work. Okay, so to get this, I don't know if you can see this clearly. You have, this is like this first chain right here. This is like this first chain here. So to get this bit in this corner, it's like a half of the shell. So to get that half of shell, what you're going to do is to chain in this first chain, right here. We're going to make 3 double crochet stitch right in this very first chain. You go back into that same chain, alright, you go right back into that first chain. Alright, after you finish making your 3 double crochet in your first chain at the end, the next thing you're going to do, this is your first shell. You're going to count 1, 2, 3 chains, and in this third chain you're going to make a single crochet stitch. Right, and then you're going to skip 2 chains again. You're going to skip 1, 2, and right in our first dip here, you remember when we did this, after we did this first shell, we went down and did a single crochet in here. You're going to work your 5 double crochet in this single crochet stitch right here. So you're going to go over and go into this single crochet and make your 5 double crochet. And that's your 5 double crochet here. Alright, so next you're gonna skip 2 and you're going to work in this top third chain on your second shell, and you're going to make a single crochet stitch. So you go into that third chain, you make a single crochet. Next you skip 2 and you go into the second single crochet after your second shell, and you're going to make your 5 double crochet. Alright, so that's your 5 double crochet. Next you're going to skip 2 again, 1 2, and you're going to work your single crochet. Okay, so next you're going to skip 2 and you're going to work a single crochet in this third chain. Alright, and also you're going to skip 2, and in this last chain over here you're going to make your 3 double crochet stitch. Alright, and this is the pattern that you have here. So to go on the next row, you chain 1 and you turn. Alright, after you turn, you're going to do the same thing, and in this very first chain you're going to make a single crochet stitch. Next you're going to skip 2 and you're going to work your 5 double crochet in this single crochet stitch that we did. Alright, so that's your 5 double crochet here, and just like what we did previously, you skip 2, you work in the third right at the top of the shell with a single stitch. Alright, you skip 2 and you work into this single crochet stitch in this dip here. You work 5 double crochet, you make a shell. Basically what we're going to do to get this pattern, in each dip you make your shell, and at the top of your shell you make a single crochet stitch. So you repeat that and you'll have this pattern. So if you can do that, and I'll meet you right at the end of this sample. Okay, I've done these shells, so now I'm approaching the end. You skip 2 and you make a single crochet stitch right at the end. and that's your third row. So basically the pattern is here. Basically you have 3 shells, 1, 2, 3. These are 3 shells right at the bottom here, and you've got 2 shells in the second row with 2 half a shell, and at the top you have 3 whole shells. So the next row would be half a shell, a whole shell, a whole shell, half a shell. You know, so this is basically the pattern. So how you start it is how you should continue basically. Alright, so if you can go ahead with that and try your sample and you see how it comes out. It should come out just like this. Alright, so now I'm going to continue my scarf. And what I'll do is when I reach my full length, which would take some time, I'm going to come back and I'll show you again how I close it up and my scarf would be complete. Okay, what I'm doing here is getting rid of the hanging yarn where I started my foundation. Just thread the needle and I'm just weaving it through so that I can just get rid of that hanging piece. You can just wiggle your way. It's a bit difficult, so just wiggle the needle and you will get it through quite easily. Then once you're finished, you can cut the excess off of your work. Alright, so now I reached the end of my scarf. This is where I had it marked to show half of the length that I'm looking for. And this is the end here. However, I'm going to make one more stitch, which is single crochet stitch along the top. I want to have that same finish. So once I join it, it has that pattern as my previous other scarf. Alright, so right at the end here, I'm just going to do single crochet stitches along the top, and you're going to do that in all the chains, in each of the chains. Alright, so now I've reached the end of my single crochet stitch along the end here. What I did, as usual, I went ahead and pinned these together. And once you have those pinned together, and this is optional, this is what I like to do because it keeps them in place. You know, also make sure that your ends are straight together as well. Alright, next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this loop here and you're going to go through each one of these chains and make single crochet stitch. That's your first one. Right, and these are the stitches up top that you're doing. So when you turn this out, you have that nice finish. Then what I'll do, I'll continue this to the end and I'll come back and show you how I finish it off at the end. Alright, so I now reach the end. I'll take my pins out and then I'll just cut my yarn just a little bit, not too much. And as usual, you have your loop. You just make one single stitch and you pull it through. You can see the single crochet stitch going along the top here. Alright, so now see, when you turn that out, you have that nice finish. See, you have that really nice finish here. And you could see the back here where the join is. It's also neat. Alright, so now I'm going to thread the needle. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to go through a few of these stitches along the top here. Real easy. There's nothing to it. But I would suggest, for example, if you go that way, you come that way. You always go the opposite way. Alright, so that's the end of my stitch. Then I'll just cut the yarn and any other excess thread that you have hanging. And that's the end of my infinity scarf. Please like, please share, and please subscribe to my channel. I really need the support. Thank you very much and have a blessed day.